Hello guys, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, I'm Jean-Philippe Aguer from France. You can probably hear my beautiful accent, sorry. So I'm here for presenting the news in Avid. I will cover up this in 20 minutes or less, because there is some part that have already been covered, let's say, by Jigsaw24, like some product I will present it to you. So let's start first by Media Composer. So let's say Media Composer, it's really my favorite because I used to be an editor 25 years ago, so I'm still there. Now presenting the whole family of Media Composer, from the freemium part Media Composer first, through the Media Composer Enterprise for, let's say, post-production houses and big broadcaster, which you can see all the options included that I will cover later. And of course, this part is really the piece of software, and you have also the monitoring I/O boxes for inputting or outputting your signal. But I assume that most of the people here knows, because we are really surrounded by post-production houses. Am I right? Yep. Okay. So just a quick update of the Media Composer 2022, which is really the new Media Composer based on the, we call it Media Composer 2019, just before a kind of pandemic hit the world anyway. So we have redo everything inside Media Composer, and it takes more than six years for redoing all the Media Composer. Most of the people are, let's say, veteran Avid user, are a bit afraid of the new user experience. Okay, and as you can see here, this is really the pillar that make the newest Media Composer. So the whole idea was really to create the same Media Composer that everybody loved and used, but with more power, let's say, for the current media post-production house. So of course, I'm talking about the new media engine, which is really inside. We redo everything inside Media Composer. There is a new media engine for be able to handle any kind of media. We also deliver a full, let's say, finishing from HD to 4K to HDR, a new color pipeline. And also we leverage also Media Composer. All the render task, all the transcode part can be now being doing by the Media Composer distributing processing, which is let's say a way to put all the offload work to another system. And of course, being able to create without being blocking by the system rendering and transcoding and doing the stuff. So that's really the new beauty. So of course, I'm going to read all the slides, but we made several, let's say, user experience and discussion with all the customers that we have all around the world before changing, I must say, all the menu and the stuff, all the stuff. And but it's still a Media Composer. It takes around 20 minutes for a veteran user to get used to the new user interface. So most of the people are afraid of change, because we are humans. So we know the tools and we are afraid about the change. But don't be afraid about the change. Around 20 minutes and you will be, let's say, go to do your work and more easily, because it's pretty amazing how fast things can be done with the new Media Composer. So I've already talked about the new media engine. This is really a key powerful system for be able to offload off your work and be able to transcode or render. It's pretty easy now to handle, for example, H265 media, which was pain in the ass 2 years ago. So now it's really easy to do that kind of stuff. And of course, because we are moving to HDR or 4K of UHD TV, yeah. So we need to have more powerful to handle, let's say, biggest media coming inside our system. Now we have also a Media Composer Enterprise, which is the flagship, let's say, of the Media Composer. This is really a Media Composer designed for all the post-production houses and the broadcaster. This is really a, let's say, a Media Composer à la carte. Oh, I can say it in French. Oh, that's great. So you can really tailor your Media Composer for your own, let's say, post-production houses. Because, let's say, we are human, so we do some mistakes. This is not the right codec. This is not the right So let's now, with Media Composer Enterprise, an administrator can set up all the post-production for a company or let's say a customer, saying this is HD, you're going to use this kind of codec, and all the editors don't need to bother with this kind of technical stuff. Okay, so this is really great, and we also improve Media Composer by adding some options inside Media Composer Enterprise, which are the distributed processing, the fact that you can have a kind of render farm for all your Media Composer. So meaning if you have a big post-production houses and you have maybe 50 seats of Media Composer not currently used, they can be used as a render machine. Okay, just by clicking, the editor send the work to another system. So that's pretty well done. So I already done that. So this is, you can also redesign, let's say, the user interface, because maybe some not editor but producer wants to have access to the media and it's not an editor, so you have to simplify the user interface. You can also do that with Media Composer Enterprise. So this is really a way for, as I say, having a Media Composer à la carte. We have just introduced, just before, let's say, the pandemic, new user experience, because, yeah, everybody was forced to be working from home, but as an editor, you have to send, let's say, the review of your media to somebody else, a producer. So with using the SRT protocol, you can directly, inside Media Composer, send your video stream using internet and the SRT protocol to a producer, which can be based in France or another country anyway. And we are working right now on some development using this kind of over-the-shoulder experience by, let's say, implementing directly inside Microsoft Teams or maybe Zoom, this kind of stuff, meaning that soon, maybe this year, later this year, we will be able to have a team meetings with Media Composer, sending the video through the team meeting to the producer or to another person. So we have changed a little bit, let's say, the way of dealing with the license, for sure, for Media Composer. Right now, we have some flexible pricing. You can, for sure, subscribe to Media Composer by months, per year, and for any kind of size of team or house of post-production. Okay, so of course you can still have your permanent Media Composer, but right now we are implementing more, let's say, option and stuff inside the subscription-based Media Composer license. Okay, this is really the most important slide for all the people using Media Composer right now. Okay, it's not be afraid of moving. This is really great. Okay, on the first, when we launched Media Composer, everybody was afraid, of course, because, as I already said, people are afraid of change. But we have talked with a lot of customers, and this talk have really improved Media Composer. For example, small things inside the UI that every editor needs. For example, find and replace inside your bin, because you don't want to change every single note from the producer by hand. So saving a lot of mouse clicking, because we want to create something and not just being some dummy editor pushing some buttons, for example. And of course, you can do more and more. We are in the process right now of improving the tools, like the new Title Plus tool, which is a new system for titling inside Media Composer and stuff like this. So there's going to be a lot of improvement going on later this year for Media Composer, and later this month maybe, or beginning of April, regarding Media Composer. And voila, that was the part, sorry, for Media Composer. I'm going covering Avid NEXIS Edge. Has everybody already heard about NEXIS Edge? Just a quick poll. No, because Jigsaw 24 made a beautiful event regarding NEXIS Edge, so I don't want to repeat what's already been said. So what is NEXIS Edge? This is really a new tool from Avid for improving, let's say, the whole post-production workflow. Okay, it's really for be able to have a team collaborate and breaking, let's say, the distance, for being short. Okay, And this new tool or this new workflow is using some tools that everybody knows, which are Media Composer and NEXIS, Avid Storage. So this is not a new tool that we introduce. This is really a new workflow because, let's say, inside Media Composer, you will be direct to connect to any kind of NEXIS remotely, and it doesn't change the way that the editor is dealing with the media, in fact. So basically, what are really the key components of the NEXIS Edge? This is a new workflow based on the new proxy, okay, which is created by Media Composer or by the distributed processing. There is a new NEXIS client manager, which allow me, for example, to be connected inside the Eurostar to NEXIS, which is based in Spain. I was playing this morning in the train. So. You can directly have access to all your project, all your media. Of course, you can also use the distributing processing for creating the proxy or the render or the transcode. There is a new web client connector, which allows, let's say, the producer to have direct access to the NEXIS just using a web browser like Chrome. Inside your editing application, you will be able to see every media that are on the NEXIS. And when I say every editing system, I mean, it can be a Media Composer, it can be also a Premiere Pro system directly connected to the NEXIS and be able to manage all the media and to do your work. Of course, because we are thinking of the fact that you don't need to be connected every time. Sometimes you have, let's say, some problem with your internet, so you will be able to copy all the media from the, let's say, from my example, the NEXIS based in Spain inside my Media Composer for be able to do my work in background, okay? And for doing everything, you just need, let's say, an extra piece of hardware, which is a server, which is going to be connected, let's say, the NEXIS and all the Media Composer remotely, okay? Just a quick, let's say, image. So you have on your premise your editor, okay? We are using Media Composer Enterprise or other Premiere. There is also some piece of software for doing the rendering, transcode, or creating the proxy. You have your already NEXIS storage system, then the new NEXIS Edge server, okay? Which is hosting, let's say, all the intelligence for be able to do what? To do that. You have a remote editor using a Media Composer and a NEXIS client manager, which can be connected through a VPN directly to that NEXIS, okay? And if you want to have access to the media, which are located over there, well, I will talk later about the producer. You will need to have this new fellow, which is the proxy. And this new fellow, in fact, for the regular Avid user, you have here a master clip, which is your piece of media. This one doesn't have a proxy, okay? And with the yellow rectangle, it means you have the proxy. If you have the proxy, I mean, this remote editor can directly have access to the proxy, okay? This premise editor can have access to the full media, let's say, the full range, or the proxy. By the way, the proxy can be any resolution. It can be 4K if you like to. It can be any resolution, okay? It's just creating a piece of media that can be handled easily through the internet of the world. And the producer is going to directly have access to the proxy also using just a web browser. So which is great, the fact that it doesn't change the way of the editor are dealing. I mean, I'm beginning an editing here, okay? I can still continue over there. I just need to have access to the proxy, okay? The proxy is over there, okay? I have access to the proxy. If the proxy doesn't exist, I'll be able, from my remote editor system, to be able to create the proxy or to ask to a system, I mean, a distributing processing machine or Media Composer to create for me that proxy, okay? And as it's a really small file, it takes, let's say, seconds to create it. So this is really a new way of dealing with remote, let's say, post-production without changing the way that we are using currently the workflow. Okay, So next, the Media Central. So Media Central is really the flagship from Avid. I mean, this is the whole platform that can be on-premise or in the cloud for dealing with all the media and all the post-production. Okay, Media Central, you can. I'm gonna just presenting, let's say, some news from Media Central. Okay, so inside Media Central, you have some apps. Okay, we have an apps for example, for ingesting your media. You can have an apps for outputting your media, for creating your own dailies and stuff like this. And you can also have some other apps like Media Central Collaborate, okay, that I will explain. We can already work with some other editing system on the Media Central platform. That can be Adobe Premiere. And we have some customers using that already. We have improved the workflow by adding some, let's say, new feature for After Effects and Photoshop for be able to manage the media inside the Media Central platform. And some other improvement like the search enhancement, because the key of the, let's say, a whole platform is really the power of the search and be able to find the media when you need it. Okay. So Media Central Collaborate. First, what is Media Central Collaborate? This is really a tool, let's say, for collaborate from people. It's really be able to assign tasks or topics to user. I mean, I need this edit system, I need this camera, I need a journalist for covering these events. Donc everything it's aggregate, let's say, in one place, in one app. So right now we have developed a new writing tool, a collaborative writing tool, meaning that if I write a note, everybody can see what I'm writing on this note. So I'm covering this event, so I need this kind of piece of media and stuff like this. You can also have the ninja mode for private work, meaning that if you activate the ninja mode, no one can see your note. Okay. As soon as you are writing something, you can directly activate an email to inform everybody that get in touch of that. And we have redesigned, let's say, the whole collaborate apps for be much clearer for, let's say, the user, stuff like this. And we also develop, let's say, a mobile app for this kind of tool. This is really a tool the purpose of this tool is really to be able to leverage the journalist directly on the field for be able to assign topics and tasks directly from a mobile app. I've already talked about the new Media Central and Adobe Creative Cloud enhancement. This is really a way that directly from the tool that the user knows, I mean After Effects or Photoshop, be able to browse using a panel. So there is a new panel from here inside the After Effects or Photoshop for be able to directly search for a still image, for example, for a montage, an edit, and be able to drop it directly from the panel inside your, let's say, favorite After Effects apps or Photoshop. We have also improved the search inside the Media Central because for sure finding the right media, it's the key when you have a platform on-premise, where on-prem or in the cloud. So we are doing some soft changing based on the discussion we have with our customer for be able to search more easily and find your media. So that's great. And inside the Media Central Cloud UX, which is really the user interface, we have a new business process modeler. Sorry, it's not a dirty word. It's really a way for be able to create a workflow for be able to ingest the media, transform it, transcode it, send it here, send it to this person. So this is really a tool for be able to create a simple workflow for manage all your media. Okay, so you can directly see it's more easy right now than it used to be. Okay, The Avid audio solution. Well, I must say I'm not an audio guy, so it's going to be very quick because most of the stuff that I'm going to present here I'm not familiar to. So this is really what's new in Avid Audio. The Carbon, the MTRX Studio, the SyncX, and the French word? No. The IDX hybrid engine. So let's start first by the piece of software. In Avid we have Pro Tools, which is really a flagship from the audio post-production, let's say, workflow. So there is two pieces of Pro Tools, the Pro Tools and the Pro Tools Ultimate. Ultimate meaning that you have more tracks, more audio, more option, and more stuff. Okay. The Pro Tools Carbon, it's a new I/O boxes, okay, that can help, let's say, audio musician, because it's maybe based for the audio market, not really the post-production market. Okay, for be able to have in a single boxes all the input, plus all the FPGAs. I mean, all of the processing for dealing with all the audio effects. Okay. There is also a new piece of boxes, which is the Pro Tools MTRX Studio. We have already the Pro Tools MTRX. This is, let's say, the lightweight part of the MTRX. Okay, so that combine every I/O interface, yes, monitoring and routing. Okay, it can be controlled by using the Yukon protocol. And that's a protocol based on Ethernet for connecting, let's say, the I/O device and working with audio. So I'm gonna not doing all the stuff because I don't know all this kind of stuff. Sorry for that. Not my part. But you can read and you will have the deck later. The Pro Tools SyncX, it's a new I/O boxes for be able to have a word clock or for synchronize all the audio stuff or the video stuff, because it's great because you can directly connect it to that, have a generator of your synchronization signal. Yep. And for conclude on the Avid Control Surface or the Avid Audio part, we also create in Avid some control surface. So we have the Pro Tools dock, the Avid S1, Avid S3, S4, S6. So this part are really, let's say, for big houses and big post-production audio houses. This part is really interesting because you can directly use it in your favorite, let's say, editing software. And it can be Premiere, it can be Media Composer, it can be Resolve for doing your mix. Okay. So the Avid S1 is really small boxes. The tablet is not included. This is, let's say, an iPad on top of it. This is great, the fact that you have 8 fader and you can control your favorite editing or audio mixing tool. It's using the Avid Control App, which is a small app that you can download on your iPhone, or if you like to, or on your iPad for be able to do your mix. And I already talked about it, but it is great. This is the Yukon protocol. This is really a protocol designed by Avid for be able to control this type of surface control. And in any kind of piece of software. It can be an audio software, it can be a video software. And this is great because it's reacting very, very well. Okay, I already talked about the Avid Control App, so you can download it directly from the Apple download and install it on the iPad, on your iPhone, and you can control Media Composer, Premiere, Pro Tools, of course, Cubase, and all the stuff like this. So this is really a good way for having a companion for your editing piece of software or audio software. And yes, to conclude, you can connect more than just one unit of the S1 for sure. You can have, let's say, up to 4 units for be able to control all your mix if you like to. And again, it's just plug an Ethernet because everything is controlled by an Ethernet by the Yukon protocol. And I guess that's it for the audio parts and for me. If you have some questions, I will be there. So that'd be my guess. Thank you for your attention.